Wild like it eats him from the hillside. What like it eats him from the hillside. There's a badge print showing through this back, pressed like a bruise under this shirt. And I keep tracing water rains on this count, counting every time I acted like it didn't hurt. I came in with polished shoes and a fresh white shirt, straight out the academy gate. Thought a clean report and steady hands were all I need to keep a crooked street straight. Then one envelope slid across a locker bench, just as thank you for a favor, nothing much. It felt like nothing when I took it, kid, but that's the first time the line moved under my touch. And this city don't care what side you're on, if you keep the wheels in time. It just feeds the man who bend the rules and never ride it in the line. I'm the man on both sides of the line. One hand on the badge, one hand in the crime. Walk past the tape like the rules are mine. Talk to every wolf and call it a sign. I'm the shadow in the mirror of the flashing light, the hush in the siren when it cuts the night. I keep the city from tearing itself apart, even while it's carving slow across my heart. Last week down by the docks they called me, said a truck went missing near the pier. I filed it in with half the story, left the rest folded in an envelope here. There's a locker in a back room full of paper ghosts with my tired name stamped on the top, and a bottom drawer with a cold brass badge waiting for the night I finally make a stop. If I was talking to that rookie in the mirror, I'd say pick a side and don't you slide. The first time you blink at a heavy hand, you're already working for the other side. But I climbed every quiet deal like a stairwell, now I'm 3 floors down in my own life. So I hold this stool like a witness stand, stay upright while the years walk by. I'm still the man on both sides of the line. One hand on the badge, one hand in the grind. Walk past the tape like the rules are mine, trading little cuts of soul for borrowed time. I'm the ghost behind the mirror of the flashing light, the hush and the siren when it splits the night. If this city gets to sleep at all tonight, it's 'cause men like me are paying things we can't put right, right. There's letters on my knees, ink shaking with the tracks. Sleeper cabin breathing slow while the darkness folds its cracks. There's a ticket in my pocket, creased and sweating through my coat. Suitcase under iron seat, holding everything Your name is at the top line. Then a pause I never felt. Every time I try to write you, all I taste is what we killed. There's a lamp above this table, swinging soft with every turn, and a river under steel that watched 1,000 bridges burn. You told me in that roadside room, keep turning in your hand. Pick the life that keeps you breathing, or the one that makes you stand. I smirked like it was nothing, like the choice was just a game. But every deal and every favor kept on spelling out my name. Now the corridor lights flicker, and the doors all breathe in time. There's a chessboard in my memory, every move a crooked line. I've been paid in folded envelopes and in voices that don't sleep. Every hallway I've been walking has grown narrow, low and deep. You said if you ever leave, don't let it look like you were thrown. So I packed before the shout and left the glass and left the phone. I don't run from this life, I choose which bridges burn. I decide what falls behind me when these wheels begin to turn. I'm a shadow in the window, just a name you never learn. I don't run from this life, I choose which bridges burn. Yeah. There's a vending machine humming by the far end of the car. Cold light on the metal panel, humming like a distant bar. I can see a small town platform slide away in muted gold. Faces blurred behind the glass, stories I will never hold. In my pocket there's that motel bill, folded with an old receipt. You were sleeping on the pillow, boots still tangled at your feet. I remember how you whispered, don't you die inside this turn. Now I'm watching all its edges as this train rolls out and burns. I keep my word like a weapon, I lock my doubts in a drawer. I don't beg for any mercy, I just step through one more door. If a man can't leave it solid, with his back straight and his nerve, he was never really driving, he just rode what he deserved. I don't run from this life, I choose which bridges burn. Every mile that fades behind me is a page you'll never turn. If you wake and feel me missing when the night begins to churn, no, I didn't run from you, I chose which bridge to burn. I don't run from this life, I choose which bridges burn. Cars closing, burn. Chairs turned up on the floor. Neon leaking through the door, like a secret under the door. You wipe the last clean glass and ask if I'm staying late. I shrug and spin the safe dial while the clock hands hesitate. There's a ledger on the table with a cover worn and torn. Edges curl like cigarettes from too many nights to mourn. My cufflinks catch the lamplight when I turn another page, and I see his name in columns like a sentence on a cage. We used to share one jacket, walking home from younger days. Two kids counting pocket change and learning grown-up ways. He could turn a backroom card game into something like a prayer. I could read a man's intentions by the way he pulled a chair. I got pulled into the numbers, he got pulled into the street. I kept shaving little figures to keep trouble off his feet. Every cut I made in silence bought him one more quiet year, till the gaps turned into chasms and the bill came due right here. See, you think the heavy choices, living, gun, smoke in a shop, but the hardest line you cross is ink you never talk about. I've been smoothing out his edges till there's nowhere left to slide. Now the books run clean and honest, and it's him on the wrong side. I'm the quiet hand that balances the night. Every number on this page turns a favor into mine. I'm the whisper in the back room, keeping all these wolves polite. If the streets are gonna sleep, someone balances the night. I don't raise my voice, I just tilt the scales inside. I'm the quiet hand that balances the night. There's a small brass key on the blotter, little teeth that know the vault. Revolver in the top drawer, casting shadows like a fall. Your rag squeaks on the counter as the front lights flicker out. In the hallway, old fridge humming like it's drowning out a shout. I draw a line beneath his number, let the total stand alone. Close the cover with a thumbprint, like a seal of polished stone. I could call him from this office, say don't walk that corner road, but the man I am keeps breathing in the silence of the cold. You don't see the quiet tables where the city really been. You just hear about promotion and the way a story ends. If you ever shake my hand, kid, watch the pen, not what I say. 'Cause the coldest kind of mercy is the debt I don't delay. I'm the quiet hand that balances the night. Every favor that I cancel pulls a brother from the light. I'm the ledger in the back room, while the front looks clean and bright. If the streets are gonna sleep, someone balances the night. Raise your glass to all the faces that slip softly from your sight. I'm the quiet hand that balanced them against the price of staying right. These streets with blood on my hands, made my choices, played the men's game, kept my mouth shut, never said a word. But tonight I'm feeling hurt. I've been the one to carry the load, made the call, walk the darkest road. I did the job, I paid the price, but now I'm paying for my life. And now I see the damage done, the promises broken, the battle's won. But the ghosts don't leave, they're still with me. I'm stuck in a world I can't break free. I've been running from the ghosts of the street, betrayed my own, now I can't sleep. I've done the dirty work, took the fall, but now I'm paying for it all. There was a time we were side by side, but I let him down, I chose to hide. The deal was done, the money came, but it cost me more than I could claim. Now every face, every name I see reminds me of what I used to be. I've been the man who handled the fight, but now I'm lost in the night. And now I see the damage done, the promises broken, the battle's won. But the ghosts don't leave, they're still with me. I'm stuck in a world I can't break free. I've been running from the ghosts of the street, betrayed my own, now I can't sleep. I've done the dirty work, took the fall, but now I'm paying for it all. I hear the whispers, they're closing in. Can't escape the life I'm in. The past past is a shadow, it won't let go. I'm running, but I don't know where to go. I've been running from the ghosts of the street. Betrayed my own, now I can't sleep. I've done the dirty work, took the fall, but now I'm paying for it all. Running from the ghosts, but they follow me. I've made my bed, and now I see. I walk the streets with a weight on my chest. The city's cold and I can't find rest. The shadows follow, but they're getting too close. I've lived this life, but now I'm just a ghost. Footsteps echo, they're not my own. I'm running from things I've never outgrown. I thought I was sharp, thought I was free, but these shadows, man, they're catching up to me. I've been here too long, stuck in a game, but the streets don't care, they know my name. I tried to move, but the past won't let go, and now it's coming for me, moving slow. I've been living in the dark too long. Now the shadows are where I belong. I made my bed, now I pay the cost. In these shadows I'm already lost. The alley's quiet, but the air is thick. I feel the weight, but I can't run quick. I've taken my chances, played the part, but now I'm feeling it deep in my heart. The city's watching, I can feel the eyes. I've played the game, but now I realize there's nowhere to hide, nowhere to go. I'm trapped in this life with no way to show. I've been here too long, stuck in the game, but the streets don't care, they know my name. I tried to move, but the past won't let go, and now it's coming for me, moving slow. I've been living in the dark too long. Now the shadows are where I belong. I made my bed, now I pay the cost. In these shadows I'm already lost. The city hums, but I don't hear the sound. I'm deep in this life, but I'm falling down. No turning back, no more to give. In these shadows I learned to live. I've been living in the dark too long. Now the shadows are where I belong. I made my bed, now I pay the cost. In these shadows I'm already lost. No way to escape, no more games to play. In these shadows I'll fade away. Door click shut behind you, hallway cameras blinking sleep. You take the leather chair across from me, try not to breathe too deep. Desk lamp draws a circle on the ledger and the floor. There's a glass ring on the wood from nights we don't count anymore. Wall clock ticks like footsteps, pacing in a narrow hall. You say you wanna be like us, I say you better hear it all. These columns on the paper aren't just ink and crooked lines. Every figure leans on faces, every total ties and binds. I've watched favors turn to bargains, watched a promise turn to steel. Signed a name and knew that someone wouldn't get their final deal. When a balance won't stay even, when a debt won't disappear, somebody dials my number and I make the problem clear. You think it's all the quiet suit and walking cold through any room, but the numbers start to murmur long before they start to bloom. When the numbers start to bleed, they all look to me. I keep the ledger clean on the wrong side of the street. No spotlight on my face, no stories with my name, just a steady hand that settles what this city cannot tame. When the numbers start to bleed, boy, they all look to me. Tell me, are you sure that's who you really wanna be? I've locked this door at midnight with a briefcase by my feet. Closed it on a younger man who thought he'd never taste defeat. Slid an envelope across the grain, watched a shaking hand receive. Saw a shadow in the hallway, not once turn and take its leave. Every tidy little entry, every signature I gave, built a tower made of secrets I still carry to the grave. This city doesn't love you, it just rents you for a while, hands you keys and leather seats, and lets you think it likes your style. But the higher up you're counting, and the more you think you own, the more you start to wonder what you'll pay to die alone. When the numbers start to bleed, they all look to me. I keep the ledger steady while the streets forget to sleep. No headlines on my fall, no statue in the square, just a name inside a notebook and a man in a quiet chair. When the numbers start to bleed, boy, they all look to me. If you wanna walk like a real man, know the price before you agree. When the numbers start to bleed and the walls leaning tight, you'll remember what I told you in this little circle of light. Key on a table, plastic tag with a faded nine. The thin curtain barely holding back the blinking motel sign. There's a map on the bed, all folded where the state lines break. Coffee in a paper cup, gone cold beside this pen and page. Boots by the door still dusty from that last back road I took. Phone face down on the dresser so I don't see if you look. Television in the corner, throwing shadows on the floor. I write your name and then I stop, 'cause you don't need what I've done before. I carry quiet envelopes from back rooms with no clocks. Watch the way a handshake changes when you open certain locks. Parked in alley, waited hours, lights off, engine warm and low. Learn which doors to never knock on, learn which debts you never owe. I kept my voice like gravel, kept my eyes on exits first. Never asked for explanation, only listened for the worst. my tires is whispering my name. So I took the highway out before they ever taught you shame. You say a man can turn around, you say I'm more than what I paid. But I've seen what follows footprints when you step out of the shade. So I'm putting miles between my sins and your front door. Every marker that I pass is one less reason you see more of the things I had to carry, of the names I had to write. Let this engine do the talking as it hums all through the night. Yeah, I'm putting miles between my sins and where you sleep. If I have to be the outlaw, I'll be the one who leaves you clean. Diner sign is humming over chrome and empty chairs. Jukebox in the corner, waiting coins and midnight prayers. I take a blue face in the window, watch the pumps across the lot. There's a waitress pouring coffee like she's seen my kind of lot. Newspaper on the counter with some headline I don't read. My reflection in the sugar glass looks older than my deeds. I write one last line to you, then fold it back within. Cause the safest thing I'll ever put your way is what I never sent. There was a night I almost turned this dusty wheel around. Picture of you in the visor, hands too heavy to calm down. But this dashboard knows my history, every scramble, every call. So I push it through the darkness and let the asphalt take it all. So I'm putting miles between my sins and your front door. Every marker that I pass is one less ghost you're guilty for. All the shadows in my rear view, let them chase this steel and chrome. You deserve a quiet doorway that don't answer to my phone. Yeah, I'm putting miles between my sins and where you lie. If I have to ride forever, I'll be the one who says goodbye. Car engine taken by the rail, red lights hanging like a tired old veil. My bad chain swinging from my open fist, radio murmuring names through the mist. You stand in the shadow where the pavement ends, hood up, eyes hard like we're strangers, not friends. Underneath us, water takes what is given. Tonight's our brightest wave. Couple hours back in a dim back room, tape wheel turning with a soft low tune. File on the table with your face in black. Captain saying push it, don't let him walk back. We ran these blocks in the same torn shoes, same cracked chord, same hard news. I've seen harder men break under that glow. Hands on the table, nowhere else to go. Law draws a line down the center of your chest. Street draws another that won't let a brother rest. You can't carry both when the squeeze gets bitter. Something's going under, badge or a brother. So I dropped my badge in the river, watched it fall. Little breath start taking every oath on the wall. Didn't save the world, I just chose who I'd refuse to lose. When the law and the blood both leave you bruised. Now when the city wants someone to walk past the mirror, they call the man who left his badge in the river. Evidence bag crumpled by my heel. One torn photograph I couldn't let them seal. Bridge steel colder than the look in your eyes when I said you walk straight and you don't look behind. Red blue ghosts on the underside stone fade while I stand here weighing what I own. Paper cup spinning by the guardrail line, like the last week witness to this choice of mine. There's a locker back at the end of a hall, empty hook swinging, nothing shining on the wall. Some kid in a fresh pressed shirt will ask my name. They'll say he burned out and close that frame. But the river knows metal and the streets know me as the man who chose which promise to set free. Yeah, I dropped my badge in the river, let it sink. Every rule I carried hanging on that brink. I'm no clean savior, I just cut my way on through. When the coat in my chest weighed more than what I swore to. Now when this city needs someone to cross that shimmer, they trust the hands that left a badge in the river. keypad by the frame. Frosted glass and hallway cameras know your face but not your name. Leather chair, ticking clock, tower view of this whole town. Chessboard on the table where I move pieces up and down. There's a ledger on the desktop, every favor, every debt. Folder with your picture in a drawer you never get to check. I see you in that doorway, new suit, eager eyes. You think the power lives downstairs where the concrete never dries. To ride the back seats, windows cracked to hear the street. Now I sign off on decisions with a fountain pen and steady beat. I've closed files on old brothers, brought some numbers back from red, kept a few from disappearing, let some vanish instead. You want your cut, your corner, you want heads to turn your way. You don't see the calls at midnight when the walls feel thin as clay. Every handshake in this office hides a blade beneath the cloth. Every quiet yes I give you has a price that someone pays off. You see suits and polished wood, think all the noise stops here, but everything they shout below still ends up in my ear. In the quiet room upstairs, I'm the shadow in the chair. I keep the numbers and the names, decide who breathes the air. You wanna walk like a boss, stand where everybody stares. You better learn to hold your tongue in the quiet room upstairs. I lock the door behind you, pull the blinds across the globe. Two clear glasses on the desk as I slide a folder slow. There's a revolver in the safe, but I don't reach for that tonight. I just tap the man you crossed once with my finger in the light. This is what it really costs you when you move before you think, when you chase every disrespect right to the edge of the brink. You shift your weight in silence, fix your tie and clear your throat. You start to feel the difference between a threat and a vote. One day you might be sitting where this ticking clock now sings, watching younger men come climbing, wanting keys to all these things. You'll feel ledgers getting heavier every time a page gets turned, and you'll hear your own voice warning with the lessons that you learned. In the quiet room upstairs, I'm the shadow in the chair. I keep the numbers and the names, decide who breathes the air. You wanna walk like a boss, stand where everybody stares. You better learn to love the silence in the quiet room upstairs. In the quiet room upstairs, lights are low and phone lines bare. If you make it to this floor, you leave pieces of you there. You wanna live like a legend, like the man behind the glare. You better make your peace with ghosts in the quiet room upstairs. blinking at the door. Soft click of the heavy latch, carpet swallowing my steps once more. Floor to ceiling sheets of glass, with the city laid out small. Desk lamp on a stack of folders, shadows climbing up the wall. Safe set back behind a picture, numbers only I still know. Elevator held on standby, no one up here but the glow. Chessboard frozen on the side table, game I never got to end. I'm the last one in this building, every camera is my friend. Started out in backrooms counting, learned to listen more than speak. Learn which hand to shake in public, which to call on different weeks. Built a tower out of favors, every floor another debt. Told myself a man like me can't fall as long as he won't forget. Now my phone can move a meeting, move a life with just one ring. Men who used to walk above me bring me everything they bring. But for every quiet promise that I hammered into rule, there's a note inside my ledger marked, remember you're the tool. They see glass and leather chairs, they see a calm and steady grin. They don't see the codes I change each time I let somebody in. Up here looks like pure control when you stare from far below. But the higher that you build it, boy, the less you're free to go. Top floor locks, I trust the steel more than the hands I raised. I run the city from a room, no one reaches uninvited to my face. If you wanna feel like a legend, learn to stand behind the glass. Yeah, top floor locks, I'm the last light when the night rolls past. But a man who guards his kingdom still gets locked in with his past. Monitors along the sidewalk show the lobby, show the gate. Every suit that hits my hallway, I can watch them hesitate. Fingerprint on every drawer, reinforced along the frame. I sleep inches from the safe door, just in case they speak my name. There's a jacket on the coat stand that I never take downstairs. Different shoulders, different posture, that was back when I was theirs. Now I pace between the window and the cold edge of my desk, like a watchdog in a kennel that he built with his success. I press my palm against the window, feel the night home through the pain. Little rivers drawn in headlights, all the streets that know my name. I could vanish in the sedan, driving till these lights are dust. But a man who trained himself control don't walk out on just a gust. So I turn back to the shadows and the folders on the floor. Count the locks that keep me breathing, count the doors I can't restore. Every layer of protection is another line I crossed. Every step up to this office was another version lost. Top floor locks, I trust the steel more than the men below. I move the city like a switchboard that I never get too close. If you wanna walk like a boss kid, learn the doors you do not pass. Yeah, top floor locks, I'm the last light in the tower glass. Cause a man who builds his fortress still can't lock out what he has. Top floor locks, I bought my peace with every name I signed. You can chase this kind of power, you can't stand where I align. But when you're the one they answer, you hear footsteps in the brass. Top floor locks around your heartbeat and the ghost behind the glass. Your reflection in the window, tied to straight eyes too bright. You think silence is a costume just to suit you wear at night. roadside diner and gassed. Out on the highway, calm but dangerous, a disciplined outlaw trying to disappear. The singer is a gentleman outlaw, a rifter writing an unsent letter to a love.
Coffee cooling in a paper cup, map spread out like sand. I wrote your name then crossed it out like I always tend to do. Kept your picture in my wallet, not in anything I drew. There's a duffel by the doorway with a shirt and second pair of jeans. Every engine on the highway sounds like someone cutting clean. You said you could stay right here by a quiet little place. Hang your jacket on one hook, leave your boots in just one space. But I've done things for quiet men who never want their names. Parked outside forgotten buildings, walked in different left in flames. They don't follow crooked numbers, they chase footprints in the dust. They come knocking for the weak spots, they don't care who learns to trust. So I kissed you in the kitchen, kept my stories off your floor, left the light on in the hallway and my shadow at your door. Men like me don't bring a storm to where the soft things grow. We keep moving, keep our distance, take the hard road that we know. So I leave no name at the counter, no story when I slide the key. I pay in cash and keep it simple, let the register forget me. I'm just a tail light in the distance, a low line on the night. No name at the counter, no trace on the highway tonight. Neon from the diner flickers right across my bed. Vending machine is humming like a song inside my head. There's a gas sign in the window, changing numbers, blinking out. And a trucker at the end room letting TV drown his doubt. I can hear the tires on blacktop, though the stars are burning clear. Every rumble past this exit, it sounds like someone changing gear. I'll fold this letter one last time, slide it where you'll never see. If they ever come here asking, this room never heard of me. Maybe someday you'll be driving just to clear your heart at night, past a rundown little motel under buzzing yellow light. You might feel my name get louder in the rear view for a mile, then it fades back into nothing, like a road without a sign. So I leave no name at the counter, no story when I slide the key. I pay in cash and keep it simple, just engines as they go. I'm just a tail light in the distance, disappearing from your sight. No name at the counter, no trace on the highway tonight.
Level 6. No cameras, no camera. Level 6, no cameras. There's a right above the street board. I showed you how to never leave a footprint, how to vanish when the door's right. You were quick with every quiet favor, but too loud about the weight you thought you had to find. They don't write our names on paper, kids. They just call when they feel the heat. If I clean this right tonight, this old big city keeps walking on its feet. Ooh, 6, no cameras. Where's where I erase your name? I'm the shadow in the parking lot stories, the one they call before they feel the flame. I keep the kingdom looking stainless, while my hands grow darker every time. Level 6, no cameras. That's the floor I write your line with mine. Sign buzzing, weekend dog, hallway stained with old decision, ice machine humming low and full. You sit there on the edge of a narrow mattress, duffel bag close by your feet. I drop a phone and a folded envelope. Say, go before the daylight hits this street. You think power is the sound it makes, real weightless when no one sees. They'll let you play with little glory, then they'll call a man like me to clean the keys. I pull you out of this crosshair once, you don't get to chase that same old fire. For the quiet kind, kid, move like you're already on the wire. Ooh. disturb on the line. Thin wall hums with the ice machine vending down the hall. Map spread out on the nightstand, circles where I used to call. I've been driving under names that never made it to my birth, taking quiet work for people who don't like to touch the dirt. Left my jacket on your doorway, left my boots beside your bed. Then the phone rang with a favor, and it pulled me by the thread. You were pouring out the coffee when I said I'd be right back. Never told you that the highway runs along my every track. I'm a highway ghost in room 9, writing words I'll never send. I'm the suit behind the steering wheel that never really ends. I'm the name they never mention when the stories start to smoke. I'm the silence at your window when the dawn light starts to soak. Yeah, I'm a highway ghost in room 9, with your picture by the phone. Too dangerous to come back home, too proud to drop this stone. Sign flickers through the curtain, numbers rolling on the glass. Suitcase leaning by the bathroom, one more shirt and one more mask. There's a stain on this old carpet where a rain once kissed the floor. Different man with different chances walked out of this crooked door. I remember that small kitchen where you fixed my crooked tie. You were laughing at my collar, said I looked too sharp to lie. But I'd already taken payment for a thing I can't erase. Now each mirror in these rooms keeps your eyes across my face. I'm a highway ghost in room 9, tracing lines across the map. I'm the engine in the distance when you can't quite place the lap. I'm the shadow at the counter when the diner lights are low. I'm the hand that leaves at sunrise so you're safer not to know. Yeah, I'm a highway ghost in room 9, with a memory in my bones. Too dangerous to knock your door, too crooked to atone. When the highway hums past your town and your porch lights burning thin, just know this outlaw in a pressed white shirt is thinking what we might have been. Just know this outlaw what we might have been. like it knows the score. You cross the line, you can't uncross anymore. I'm the call that comes when the curtain falls, when the story's crooked and the room feels small. I wipe names out of ledgers, faces off the street, turn loud mistakes into carpet under feet. This city never sleeps, it just keeps a tab. Every favor written like a hidden hand to grab. You think you're steering, but you're locked on rails. One bad choice and the quiet end prevails. Now you're sitting where the cameras don't reach. No red lights blinking, no recording of the speech. If you're in this office after everyone's gone home, you're already standing on the edge alone. In the room with no cameras, you learn what power costs. It's not the shine on your shoes or the way you talk tough to the boss. It's a name in the ledger and the mess in between that I clean, that I clean. And in the room with no cameras, you don't pretend you're new. You just pray that your shadow doesn't tell what is true. You can polish up your story, set a different scene, but in the room with no cameras, I've seen. There was a kid like you with a sharper grin. Thought the rules bent when the night closed in. Left a secret in a hallway under buzzing lights. I caught the stain before the early rise. Gloves on my hands, key card in the lock, folder in a briefcase, shoes soft on the rock. By the time the sun hit the top floor glass, all that remained was one more warning to pass. I don't raise my voice, I don't bluff or spin. I just mark where the lines end and where they begin. You break your word and this city takes it back, step by step till there's nothing left to track. If you wanna walk out, keep your promise like steel. Code is the only thing they can't cut from the deal. And in a room with no cameras, you face what deals you made. Every shortcut, every look the other way you play. It's the ink on the paper and the spaces between that I clean, that I clean. And in the room with no cameras, you drop a borrowed crown. If you wanna leave home, you learn to stand your ground. You can dress up your legend, keep your from the window stutters on your face. Trucks roll past, but this booth stays in place. Motel key turning circles by your thumb. You talk about respect and how you wanna come up, but there's a black sedan parked under that sign, and a man like me don't sit here just to pass the time. See headline stories about the life we lead. Suits, low voices in the front row seats, but you don't see the hallway at the end of the plan, when the talking's dead and they send a quiet man. I'm the one in the gloves, shutting down loose ends. I'll wash the footprints off the floor for your friends. My name ain't written on the contracts you sign, but the last clean line on the page is mine. So when you say you want the power and the road, understand the door they keep me for. If you ever see my shadow cross your floor, you walk too far, you won't walk back no more. If I'm at your door, the talking's already done. I'm the last calm knock when the brave hearts run. I don't raise my voice, I don't need to explain. I just carry out the quiet side of this game. You chase the fire, you chase the war, but you don't wanna know what I'm standing at your door for. If I'm at your door, the talking's already done. Picture hallway lights buzzing one by one, your boots by the mat, your day finally done. Suit coat hanging on the kitchen chair. You reach for the switch, feel a shadow there. I'm by the counter, tie straight, gloves on tight, briefcase resting where the lamp meets night. You recognize my face from this very booth, and every word you brag tastes different with the truth. I keep receipts in a box in my head, every quiet visit, every word unsaid. License plates, rooms, the way doors swung, all the little details that still hang on my tongue. You call it honor, you call it taking care, but the mirror each morning won't ever let you spare. If I'm at your door, the talking's already done. I'm the last slow step when the bright lights shine. I don't make the rules, I just close the account. I'm the way they use when the numbers don't count. You climb that ladder kept my hands clean, kept my mouth shut, never let the world hear me. Now I sit in this room, suitcase packed, no way back, no way to stay. I've seen the cost of loyalty, I've seen the price you'll pay. But there's no future here for men like me, no place to hide and fight. So I'm closing up my story, walking out into the night. You get less for this life, boy, but here you stand, standing tall. See that hunger in your eyes, I hear the echoes in your core. I wanted more for you, to have a life untouched by sin. But the city keeps its secrets, and it never lets you win. So I'll leave this note behind, a warning, a reminder to be wise. The game don't care for loyalty, it'll cut you down inside. I've seen men rise, seen them fall, watched the world turn cold. I've learned to move in silence, never give away what's sold. The price of the life, boy, it ain't just in the deals you make, it's in the trust that gets broken and the hearts you have to break. There's no way to leave clean, there's no way to walk away, but you'll learn sooner or later that silence is a price you'll pay. I've been where you're going, seen the lies and all the games. Don't chase the power, don't chase the fame. It's all a crooked road paved with regret and pain. I'm packing up my sins tonight, I'm leaving it all behind. I hope you find the peace I never could somewhere out there in time. You don't know the way, the chains that bind the soul. But maybe, just maybe, you'll learn to take control. The price of the life, boy, it ain't just in the deals you make, it's in the trust that gets broken and the heart you have to break. There's no way to leave clean, there's no way to walk away, but you learn sooner or later that silence is the price you'll pay. drifting off the road. Then walls of an old air unit, little room that barely holds. There's a suitcase by the door frame, key tag hanging from the chair, coffee cooling on the table, one more postcard lying there. I write your name along the top line, let the pen just trace the sound. Every letter feels like footsteps turning back toward shaky ground. Fold the corner of the paper, stare at nothing for a while. I can see you in the kitchen, bare feet on that faded tile. Diner shares a parking lot with this place and the pump lights glow. Chrome stool, empty sugar packets, quiet radio down low. Neon buzzing over menus, half the bulbs already gone. Waitress wiping down the counter just to keep a program on. There's a payphone by the bathroom, little metal, little rust. I can almost hear you breathing through a silence I don't trust. I could dial those 7 numbers, let your hello cross the wire, but the ones I used to ride with still would set your name on fire. I've been living in between lines where the highway threads the past. Every mile I put behind me says this love was built to last. I'm the last motel before the line where a man like me decides if he turns back toward a porch light or keeps driving through the night. I can lay your name on paper, but I can't lay down this life, so I leave it in the drawer here with the key and with the knife. If you ever feel an engine pull you off an exit sign, you'll be passing by the doorway of the last motel before the line. Back inside the room, the channel flickers on a crooked screen. Some old movie in the background, 2 lost voices in between. I flip the latch out of a habit, even though I'm not the mark. Old reflex from older evenings when I walk too close to dark. I slide your letter in the Bible page that never sees a crease. Fold the map and take the cash roll, let the TV talk in peace. Drop the key out on the counter, nod once to the tired clerk. He don't ask what brought me through here, knows the night does all the work. There's a line of little towns behind me where I never stay too long. One with grain dust, one with freight tracks, one with half-forgotten song. Every time I thought of turning, I saw trouble at your door. So I kept my wheels in motion, left that thought out on the floor. I keep my circle lonely like the stripe that splits the lane. Let the distance do the mercy that my hands can't quite explain. I'm the last motel before the line with a lamp that never sleeps, for the men who change their story but still carry what they keep. I can spell your name in ink here, let the letters curve and shine, but the ghosts that ride beside me ain't the kind to cross with mine. Yeah, if you ever feel a pull you can't quite place along your spine, that's the highway saying thank you from the last last motet before the line. Motel bed, leaning on a faded yellow wall. Ice machine humming in a low mechanical drawl. Suitcase half open by the door on crooked wheels. Room key on the table next to cold forgotten meals. Little notepad with a logo by the bedside lamp. Your name on the first line, ink starting to cramp. Outside in the lot, just my car under the sign. Neon flickers like it's trying to change its mind. I write you 3 sentences and tear them to shreds. Drop the scraps beside the Bible and the iron frame of the bed. You deserve a quiet house, soft voices in the hall. Not a man who's heard what happens when the wrong hands make a call. I've driven sealed envelopes through back roads after dark. Sat across from silent faces, left my name without a mark. Now I move from exit to exit, keep my name off the sheet. Every town another number, every mile another beat. You might think I've disappeared because I never really cared. But ghosts like me don't visit where the innocent are spared. If I cross that unseen border and turn back to your street, I'd be bringing all the shadow, walking close behind my feet. I'm a highway gentleman ghost in a suit you'll never see, rolling past the bright convenience lights where you could have stood with me. I'm the man who leaves at daybreak while the parking lot's still cold. Trade a porch and kitchen laughter for a steering wheel to hold. I'm a highway gentleman ghost, and I haunt my own escape. Every mile I stay in motion keeps you far from my mistakes. Rearview mirror full of nothing but a strip of distant glow. Boots crunching gravel when I stop to let the engine slow. Folded map bleeding from the glove box at my knee. Circle where you live is one turn that don't belong to me. Truckers at the counter in a 24-hour stop. Coffee burning in a paper cup, ticking on the clock. I stand by the window with a few warm bills in hand. red lines on a trembling strand. If I walk through your doorway with this road dust on my sleeve, you'd smile like the past was something I was free to leave. But the man I used to answer still keep careful, quiet eyes. They would follow any footprint leading back to where you ride. So I talk to you in motel rooms and by these quiet poems. Let the words die in my throat, let the engine take the lumps. Never written on your door. I keep moving like a rumor that the streets can't hold no more. You can build your days on Sundays where the curtains catch the sun. I'll be out here on the shoulder where the unfinished things run. I'm a highway gentleman ghost, choosing one more sleepless lane, so you'll never feel the trouble. Clock hands crawling past midnight on his old mahogany desk. Ledger open like a history, every favor, every risk. City pressed against the windows, just a sea of quiet light. You stand there in your borrowed jacket, trying hard to breathe it right. Crystal glass half full of water, not the story that you heard. On the corner of this table, there's a pen and just one word. Chessboard frozen mid-decision by the lamp's low amber flame, and a shadow in the top drawer shaped like something with a name. They don't send you here for story, they don't send you here for fun. They send you where the numbers bleed and the talking's mostly done. Downstairs someone's always shouting, trying hard to look like Steve. Up here I just move the pieces, make the noise obey the deal. I remember being hungry, like the way you watch these doors, thinking power's in the doorway, not the man who writes the scores. But every handshake hides an interest, every smile is on a sheet. I'm the one who keeps it balanced, so the empire finds its
you wanna last in this line, you can't live to feed your pride. Let the gossip fill the hallways while your thoughts stay deep inside. 'Cause men who move in silence wear the heaviest of chains. We don't carve our names in marble, we just sign and take the blame. Men who move in silence walk the edge and hold the frame. Let the whole room tell the story, men like me don't explain. You can chase the crowd's attention, or you can learn to run the game. But the ones who leave here breathing are the men who don't explain. One day they will slide a briefcase to your corner of the floor. Say you handled that one nicely, how'd you like a little more? You'll feel fire in your heartbeat, see a crown in every face. That's the moment that will break you if you try to win the chase. Write it down before it happens, fold it, keep it in your coat. Never speak beyond the numbers, never answer every note. When the questions start to circle and the hallway whispers rise, you just straighten up your cuffs and let them drown inside their lies. This city loves a loud man till the river learns his name. Then it pulls him through the current, leaves his echo, keeps his shame. All these towers, all these offices, just lanterns in the fog. I've seen heroes turn to rumors by a line inside a law. 'Cause men who move in silence wear the heaviest of chains. We don't carve our names in marble, we just sign and take the blame. Men who move in silence walk the edge and hold the frame. Let the whole room draw conclusions, men like me don't explain. You can chase a little glory, or you can learn to run the game. But the ones who stay in shadow are the men who don't explain. aboard, and the city's lights fade from sight. Lived a life in the shadows, built from whispers and lies, but now it's all behind me as the wheels start to rise. The seats are cold, the air thick with the dust of old dreams. what it seems. I hear echoes of promises I used to make, the debts I couldn't pay, the hands I had to shake. This city's been a lover, but always in disguise. As I leave its grip, I can't stop asking why. I see faces in the window, memories in the rain, but they're fading like the shadows as I board this train. The tracks keep winding out, the city's just a blur. Can't outrun the ghosts, but I'm hoping they won't stir. This journey's mine to take, but the weight will never leave. The city never forgets, and neither do I believe. It's in my name. I'm riding this train, leaving it all behind. But the city's got a hold that I can't unwind. I'm running, I'm fading, but it's all the same. The city never forgets, and neither do I. It's in my name. The city's got a way of keeping its grip tight. No turning back now, no more games to play. I pack my bags, but it's here to stay. The tracks stretch far, the air's getting thin, but the city's pulse will follow me like a shadow in the wind. The train hums low, the wheels roll slow. The city fades, but I know it'll always know. There's no